Welcome to Fancounters. My name's Nick.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And I am so happy because baseball is back. It's been back for a couple weeks now, and life is good. Life is good.
Okay.
You can find us on Facebook at Sharpie Nation. Just search for that group. Ask to join. We'll let you in. It's the one place where you can get exclusive details and looks into our show. And we do the announcements of our guests there before they come on, so you'll know ahead of time who's going to be on the show for the week. You can also check us out on Twitter at Fancounters Live. And if you want to email us with a guest suggestion or comment,
that's hello@fancounters.com.
Now, Elizabeth, you went on vacation last month.
I did.
Without your family.
Yes.
Without your husband.
Yes.
Where did you go?
I went to Cancun.
I've never been.
I had never been.
Oh, have you ever been to Mexico itself?
Anywhere? I had been to both Tijuana and Matamoros. And so I've kind of done the west side, the middle, and now I've done the east side, which is Cancun.
Okay, and how was the trip?
The trip was delightful. I went to go celebrate my 50th birthday with my best friend since grade school. She and I
was not invited.
Yeah, sorry. It was a girls' weekend. And it was quite delightful, although I was a little bit shocked. We had heard in advance that there was some unrest there. And when we got off the plane and drove to the hotel, there were big, giant trucks full of armed soldiers, I guess.
That's a little intimidating.
That's a little intimidating. So we intended to not leave the hotel when we got there. It was an all-inclusive, and so there was really no reason for us to leave, although we did end up walking probably about 10 minutes away from it to their mall, and I use that term loosely. And we did go there. There were more armed guards there when we got there, and we felt okay. And then we walked back. So that was really the only excursion we did. But in typical fashion, I took this trip so that I could have a break, so that I could not have someone going, Mom, 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 every 5 minutes. Or
why would you want that?
No dog, no guinea pigs, no husband, no children. And I just wanted to do nothing but lay in the sun. And so when we chose this trip, the plan was that we were just going to literally sit in a lounge chair and read our books. And that is what we did. I kind of moved from my bed to the lounge chair. One day we did make it to a massage, then back to the lounge chair. We did make it into town, then back to the lounge chair. But while all this is going on, because apparently I've done something horribly wrong in my life.
You have to be punished for every good thing.
I ended up with a kidney stone. And
I've never had one.
Oh, it's hideous. And so I would get this very, 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 very sharp pain in my kidney, in my back. I'd be kind of writhing in pain, and then it would pass because kidney stones tend to not hurt 24/7. There's a kind of a pain, and then depending upon where it goes, whether or not it comes out or just kind of moves inside the kidney, it can cause issues, and the idea behind it is that you will just simply tinkle it out.
Did you seek medical treatment?
Oh, no. I was not going to leave the hotel, and I certainly was not going to seek medical attention in
Mexico,
foreign country. So it was quite delightful, but let me tell you, 3 days is not enough. But
that's just a small taste, and then you're like,
right,
I want more.
Yes, and so it's so I wish we could go back, and someday I think we'll take the kids if it gets a little bit more stable, for lack of a better word. Yeah.
Well, this guest today is not going to have problems with kidney stones for a long time. Sorry you had to hear that. Today on Fancounters, we're welcoming a 9-year-old actor on a very popular Disney Channel show, Coop and Cami Ask the World, a show so popular it's already been renewed for a second season as it's quickly proven itself to be a fan favorite among viewers and critics. Paxton Booth is going to be here, and he plays Ollie Wrather, the younger brother of Coop and Cami.
If you haven't seen the show, it follows a brother and sister duo who make almost all their daily decisions by crowdsourcing opinions from the millions of followers on their online channel. Would You Rather is the channel. Paxton often ends up being the test pilot for some of the more wild stunts on their online show.
That's what I do to make decisions for this show. The millions of listeners.
We crowdsource it.
Absolutely. Definitely. Paxton's no stranger to appearing on television. He's been acting since he was 2.5 years old and has appeared on hit shows like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, The Real O'Neills, and even the unscripted ABC series The Toy Box, where he was a judge. New episodes of his current show, Coop and Cami, can be seen on the Disney Channel on Friday nights. Have your kids seen this show?
Yes, Lily has seen it.
Well, good. Then she'll be really excited to find out that you spoke to Paxton today.
All right.
All right, let's get going.
Coming to you from nowhere near the entertainment capital of the world, this is Fancounters with Nick and Elizabeth on the PodFix network.
There was this mob of people, and they're screaming my name.
Crazy fans.
Stop following me. Don't come around my house. If you do, the cops are going to be at yours. If I'm having dinner with my wife, don't sit down at my table. Don't follow me into the bathroom.
Can I take a picture? We're gonna. Oh my God!
I think this guy wants to fight me. Ended up being a fan.
I'm the only one that's ever been on Sam Jackson and lived to tell about it.
Well, guess what? I have a big surprise for you.
That's why we call it Fancounters.
I don't think you're going to last on the air very long.
Paxton, welcome to Fancounters. Thanks for joining us this week.
Oh, thanks for having me.
We talked about this in our opening, but you started your acting career at just 2.5 years old, so that was obviously a decision made by your parents. Why don't you start with telling us some of your first acting memories?
I actually remember my very first job, and my dad took me to that job. It was for Mattel, and it was like a Thomas the Train commercial where I had to go up and over the bridge, and then I kept dropping in, and it kept falling off the table. I remember that, but I also remember it was another one of my very first jobs, and I remember I did Sing with the Muppets, and I got to meet Kermit and all those awesome people. And especially Kermit, he was hilarious, and I got to have little skits with him, and we'd laugh, and that was one of my favorite acting memories.
But Paxton,
sure.
weren't you a little afraid of the Muppets? Because when my kids were 2.5 or 3 years old, they would have freaked out about that. How did you handle it?
I don't know. I remember watching the Muppets a ton when I was really young, so I remember loving them, and it was actually kind of a dream come true when I was that young, that just to see them and talk with them, they were really funny. It actually wasn't scary at all.
That's cool.
So before we get too far into this interview, I want to learn a little bit about you. Do you have brothers and sisters?
Nope, just the only one. It's kind of nice.
Super. Before we talk about your current show, I want to ask you about some of your other roles that you've had. Now, you starting with Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You mentioned that guest role you had in the show was one of your favorites. Why?
Because I got to meet Andy Samberg and so many amazing, hilarious actors, and Terry Crews. And it was just, they never stopped the scene. They kept going, and they changed the scene every time at the very end. So they had so many different funny alternatives that were hilarious, and I couldn't even hold myself in. They were so funny.
So are you good
I don't know how they could.
But they're very good at improv and probably used to just trying different things. So are you good at improv?
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Okay.
I'll put it that way, but I'm learning how to improv better and better.
So have you taken classes to improve your improv and acting skills? And, if you do, are acting classes sort of what you need to do lifelong to keep your skills at a very high level?
That's actually a good idea. I probably should. But I remember when I was in Disney boot camp, they had an improv coach come in, and we did it for a couple hours with the whole cast. So we got to do things together, and it also helped our chemistry when we were starting. But I remember doing that. That was kind of fun. I remember.
Improv is an important part of your success on the ABC show, The Toy Box, where developers brought their new toys to a group of kids to test before going to market. Since you tested all those toys, which one was your favorite?
My favorite was actually the one that got second place. It was the hovercraft, and it was the one that could go. It was a remote control toy, but I loved it so much because it can go on water, land, and any kind of terrain, like a real hovercraft, just in super mini size. And it was pretty tough because people kept running it into the walls, and it still kept going. So I'd say that was a pretty nice toy, but that was an amazing toy. I was hoping that one would win.
On that show, were you given any type of coaching as far as how to judge these toys or some things that they wanted you to say? Or was this all your honest reaction?
It was all my honest reaction. They didn't tell us anything to say. We just did it. We saw a toy come in. We played with it. If we liked it, we'd vote for it, and hopefully it'd win. But that's kind of how it just worked. And I was also with my friends, so I was also with some of my, pretty close friends, so it was nice to be with friends the entire time.
Now, out of all your guest starring roles, did any off-camera memories happen? Anything extra special that you won't ever forget?
I actually kind of like that question. That's a good question. I remember. So actually, on the toy box, I got to meet the lead designer of Hot Wheels, and which is my favorite toy of all time.
Wow.
I'm actually right now in my room staring at my 1,100 cars that I have right now. So that was a pretty big memory, and I've actually seen him a few times after that, and it's just an amazing thing to see how big of a person in that Hot Wheels industry.
Now, did they give you a Hot Wheels car to take home?
They did give me a Hot Wheels
Ooh.
car. They gave everybody a Hot Wheels car. It was so amazing.
That's awesome.
But I got a special one. I'm not supposed to say what it is, so I'm not going to say what it is, but I did get a very special one after, too.
Nice.
Yeah, from himself.
You are currently starring in the hit Disney show Coop and Cami Ask the World. How did you land the role of Ollie, and what was the audition process like?
It was long. I had to seriously do 12 auditions, I feel like, before the pilot. And then after the pilot, we had 6 months, and they recasted me and Cooper. So we went through a whole nother casting process for another 12 auditions. And I luckily got the part again, but I had to audition 2 times. It was pretty interesting.
Were they looking for something different and that you had to go in and change what you were doing the first time? Or do you know why you didn't make the cut the first time?
I think they didn't want me to change anything. I think they just wanted to get maybe a bigger picture maybe, or
Sure.
they wanted something they wanted to check out maybe more people. I don't know. It was kind of a crazy time for us because we're really?
Yeah, that's fabulous to go from, you didn't get it, but try again, and then you do try again, and hey, congratulations, you landed the role. That's very awesome.
Yeah, they just wanted to make sure that I was, I guess, good enough.
And that kind of answers my next question a little bit. You said 6 months was the time gap. Was that how much time passed between when you got the role and when you first stepped on the set to film the pilot?
There was 6 months in between the pilot and starting up for the first season.
Okay. I got you.
There were 6 months in between there.
Wow.
So how long before when you get the role and you find out you're going to do this pilot, how long before you filmed that pilot? Was it weeks, days?
About 3 months.
Okay. That's quite a long time to know you have something that you can't do yet.
Yeah. At least they give us I don't remember when they did give us the script. I don't think they did give us the script in that 3 months to practice. They just gave it to us not even a week before we started shooting the pilot.
Wow.
And then they changed it midway. They changed the entire script because Disney wanted a new one. So we had to do it all over again. We had to add another week onto the pilot. And that was a pretty interesting thing, too, because we were all, super stressed out.
So you're 9 now, correct?
Yeah.
So how old were you when this started?
I was 7 when I started.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, 7.
So 7. So it's taken 2 years to get this up and running and really get a solid foundation.
Yeah, almost 2 years.
Okay.
See, it takes a long time to be.
It doesn't feel like it at all. Time flies.
I was going to say, it takes a long time, a long time to be an overnight success.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So you're a season regular on Coop and Cami Ask the World. How does the experience differ for you from the guest star roles that you've had on other shows? When you compare those, the fact that you're there every week to just stepping on set for a few days, what's different? What's good? What's bad?
I don't think there's any bad parts to having it because it's like a family. You have more people that you're with for 6 or 7 months straight, and it's a longer time, and you just have more friends on the set. There's way more people, more scenes, longer shows. It's like it's way better. And the routine is way different because it takes 1 week to film one episode.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's kind of a long time to film one episode, but our routine is totally different. Every day is a different story.
Are you doing this in front of a live audience, or is it a closed set?
It's a closed set. We
Okay.
do not do it in front of a live audience. But that would actually be kind of fun.
I would think so. It'd be a different experience, that's for sure.
So
yeah, it would be definitely better.
you're a bit younger than the other co-stars on the show. Do you feel when the cameras aren't rolling that they treat you like a little brother, or do you think that you're just kind of one of the gang?
I think I'm just one of the gang.
Okay.
I mean, I am the little brother, but I will still do anything to help the family and to help the family if they're in like any need or something. So, yeah, I'm just part of the gang.
Okay.
Paxton, what's school like for you right now? Are you homeschooling? Are you going to regular school? How do you work that into your day?
So right now I'm homeschooled, and I'm with the same school when I'm at set too. So when I'm inside the classroom, we do so many hours a day. So if it's in between scenes, sometimes we have to run all the way back to the classroom, hammer out some schoolwork, and go back to shoot another scene because we have to do so many hours a day.
Is it hard for you to transition from, okay, now I'm Paxton and I'm in school, to running on set and being in character and, kind of doing all the silly stuff? Is it hard to flip that on and off?
No, I don't think it's very hard because, Ollie is very different from me, but I do think you just go into it with knowing what Ollie is, and you act like him, and you're just totally fine. You just go, and you literally come with it. You just kind of roll with it, You go into the classroom, do school, you're you, focus on school. Okay, back to Ollie. You're a whole different person then.
Being homeschooled, do you think that you miss anything by not being at regular school?
It's kind of 50-50 because it was fun having friends at school and having recess, but I could still have recess in my backyard. I can go run and play.
Sure.
But I can also get ahead a ton. Maybe I can get ahead a ton and then go on a road trip for a few days. And then I'll come back home and I'm totally fine.
Okay.
Because when we went to Italy for 10 days, I got ahead that 10 days with school, and when I came home, I was right back on track.
Nice.
That works. That's cool.
Yes, we can go to Disneyland and Six Flags without any problems.
So the premise of Coop and Cami Ask the World is that they are asking their social media followers to make pretty much every decision that they make in their life. Do you have an online presence? Are you filming? Do you have a YouTube channel? Or how do you communicate with your fans?
I communicate with Instagram.
Okay. So you're putting pictures up there and reading those comments that way, probably with your mom or dad?
Yeah, definitely with mom and dad.
Very cool. So tell us about your favorite part of being on and working on the show Coop and Cami Ask the World.
There's really no downsides to it. Everything's amazing. But I love having your best friends around you 24/7, really. You go home and you, of course, don't have them around when you go back to your little apartment. But when you are on set, you're there for so many hours that you're always with your friends. So you're pretty much always playing and having fun. and it's just really nice and fun.
Were you from California your whole life, or did you move there?
I am from California, born and raised.
Okay.
So, but we rent a little apartment down in LA where we shoot. So, yeah, that works out.
It's helpful to be nearby for sure.
Yeah. Now, you do a lot of stunts on the show. Have you ever been nervous about any of them? And how do you prepare to take on some of those tough situations?
So I'm a BMXer, so I love to hit huge jumps and carve those big bowls on my bike. So it really helps because I think it has something to do with like I think it's the abs, right, or something like. But yeah, the core strength. That's it. So I've heard BMX actually really helps your core strength. So when you're doing those huge harness work, like being Velcro to the ceiling, it really helps with that core strength because you have to like tense that up. So it's way easier.
So follow me here. We're going to talk about a scene that's was in the original promotion for the show, and I know that you know where I'm going with this. So you get your script, and you read that you're going to be sitting in a kitchen sink bathing in leftover food. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
What are you thinking when you read that?
I think blah. I think like super gross and slimy. But I thought they were just going to throw me in maybe some food-colored slime. But no, real leftovers from the crafty the day before.
No way.
Yuck!
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't. Of course, it wasn't the things that people had ate, but it was what they had before. Like I had cold mashed potatoes that just came out of the fridge, and it was pretty cool. But I had like super gross like carrot peels, and I had like gravy. It wasn't even real gravy. It was like the weird like silicone things and I remember I had to pour it on my head. So I had to pour like silicone on my head, and it was like so gross.
That is gross.
Yeah, that's like the only stunt that was something I would definitely do it again, but I would probably not have as much fun as the other ones with the harnesses.
So you're in the sink with all this nasty food. You've poured it over your head. How do they get you out? And like, how long did it take you to get clean?
Well, we have trailers, so they brought in a trailer with a shower, and our stunt coordinator, who helps us keep us safe and make sure we're like falling right when we're doing stunts, Danny Lane, he actually picked me up out of the sink after I was in there for like 3 hours and put me in a trash bag, and then they carried me in my robe to the trailer with him. Like, seriously, we have some photos of it. Like, him literally carried me in a trash bag and then carried me out to the trailer to take a shower. And it was a pretty long process, but it was kind of funny. It smelled.
I bet.
Smelled. Like, we were gagging. It smelled so bad.
Obviously, it was worse than what you thought when you first read it.
Yeah, it was pretty worse. I thought it was just going to be like I said, maybe like the food-colored, gross stuff, like slime.
Yeah.
Nope, not
real
at all.
stuff.
It was way worse.
Walk us through a typical day for you when you're filming on the set.
Every day is different. So the first day, because like I said, it takes a week to film an episode. Our first day, we have like a table read with everybody, which we just read it over at a table. And then the next day, we have a run-through, which is kind of like a play. So we go to like every set and we act out what we're going to be doing to the producers on the first run-through. And so we do that to make sure they have what they need, or every time we do it, they change things. So that's how to make sure like if it's good or not. So first we have a producer run through. Then the next day we have a network run through, which has all like the big people in Disney coming to see it. Then we change things then. And then the next I think it's the next 2 days we're shooting.
Okay.
Thursday, Friday we're shooting.
How many times did you actually have to go into that sink? Was it just for the actual filming, or did you have to be in that sink of food for network producers and and all that? Did you have to do it multiple times or just once?
Just once, but
Okay.
I was in it like it was multiple times because I was in it for, I think, like 3 hours straight. So for the run-throughs and stuff, I just, they just put me into the sink, and there was nothing in it.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
I only had to go in it once.
Got it. How long does it take you to memorize lines? Are you pretty good at it? Do you have a method that works best for you?
I don't know if I have a method. I think I just kind of read it over in my head a ton. If there's kinks we need to get out, just practice the entire scene with Mom, and going to the next day, still getting the kinks out, maybe changing it up a little. But I don't think I have a method. I just do it and memorize it.
Now, you said that you're in an apartment in LA. I'm assuming, are both your parents there, or is just one parent with you?
Just one parent there, but sometimes, like almost every weekend, we go down and come back to normal home. And so we chill out here for the weekend, and then we go back. But sometimes our dad actually comes to the apartment for the weekend with us.
Okay.
So maybe there's like a car show in LA. Maybe we're gonna go see or something.
Okay. But for the most part, it's just you and Mom, and obviously Mom is with you all day long.
Yeah.
And then Dad's back at home holding down the home fort and working.
Yeah.
Okay. As more and more of the episodes air, I'm sure you're going to get recognized quite a bit. And I want to talk about some of the encounters that you've had with your fans, because our show is called Fancounters, and we like to hear about how our celebrities have encounters with their fans. So tell us some stories about some people that you've met.
So my favorite one, and it's the most funniest one yet, I was in like a clothes store, like Express, and I was just waiting in line with Dad to get some uniforms for Dad, and then we seriously saw this girl, and you could tell it was this girl's mom's phone. So she like grabbed Mom's phone and was running around behind like the store counters and different places, like snapping photos of me, and it was hilarious. And then she asked me if I was on the show, and of course I said yes, and then she walked away. His mom came back and made sure I was on the show. And then they walked away again, and then they came back and wanted a photo, dragging the little girl. And then we took a photo, and then they walked away for the last time.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. So she was taking pictures of you before she even asked you if you were on the show?
Well, she asked me, like, I was looking at suits, and then she asked me, and then she ran away, scurried away for a few seconds, and then the rest happened.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. That is funny.
Yeah. But I've also had some encounters with some of my fans, like the people I'm fans with.
Oh,
actually, yeah. A couple nights ago, I had a great chance to go to the Dumbo premiere, Tim Burton's new movie.
Yeah, it's coming out
Tim
next
Burton's
week.
my favorite director of all time. He's like way up there, and Danny Elfman, which he does music for every Tim Burton movie, and I love him. And my favorite movie of all time is Nightmare Before Christmas. So, and all like my favorite movies are mostly Tim Burton, and I got to meet both of them, Danny Elfman and Tim Burton, in the same night, and it was so amazing. They were such nice guys. They were awesome.
That is so cute.
We're going to talk about your love of Tim Burton in a little bit, because I have some questions about that, because you like to watch scary movies and you're so little, and so do I, and Elizabeth won't touch them, but we'll go there in a minute.
Okay.
All right. Did you say anything to Tim Burton when you met him?
I did. He literally walked right in front of me, and I'm like, oh shoot. And I just like flagged him down, and we got a photo. He was like super nice. I told him my favorite movie was Nightmare Before Christmas, and I'm a super fan. And he was like, he was just a normal guy. He's like, nice. Like, it was kind of cool.
That is awesome. What a great experience. You got to meet your idol, your hero.
Yeah.
Any other fan encounters, like people that recognize you that stick out in your mind before we move on?
Yes, there was one which he didn't actually ask me if I was on the show, but it was very clear that he was pretty shell shocked. Because we were, like those tapping places where they cook in front of you and have those like big tables in front of you.
Yes. Like you're talking about the hibachi?
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Okay.
We were eating there, and then there was this kid on the other side of the table. And all I see is the kid tugging on Mom's shoulder and eyes wide open as they could be, staring at me the entire dinner.
Oh, that's weird.
Geez.
Entire dinner staring at me. And then at the very end, when we were like, done eating, waiting for our check, he ran and came up to me with his dad, but they didn't come up to me. It was really funny because they just stared right next to us, like literally only like 5 feet away.
That's so awkward.
But they didn't do anything. I know, like, guys, come on. I mean, I thought like a big scary monster. Like, come on, guys, come up and talk to me. Like, it feels really weird when you're just staring.
So you'd rather have people approach you than just sit and stare?
Oh, yes,
okay.
Very much.
What's the weirdest thing you ever had been asked to sign?
Nothing yet. I haven't been asked to sign anything yet.
You're kidding. That's very surprising to me.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but I have had a ton of photos, which is just as good.
It is. Now, I read that if you could choose a guest star for an episode, you would choose one of two people, either Cameron Boyce or Meg Donnelly. So I want to know, what is it about those two celebrities that would make you choose them over all the others?
For Cameron Boyce, because he's such a good actor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he has made it so far. I've seen him like grow up on Disney Channel with Jessie, which is my favorite Disney show. So I've seen him grow up on Jessie and a ton of other shows and Descendants and all of those things. And it's pretty amazing to see him grow up and be such a great actor. He would be a good one to have on the show. And Meg Donnelly, because she's Meg Donnelly.
It's funny. I know somebody who knows her, and I've been trying so hard to get her to be on this show. And it hasn't happened yet, but my fingers are crossed. She is amazing.
Yeah, I've seen her a couple times. I know her. I've seen her at a few events before. She is super nice.
So do you watch American Housewife every week?
No, I don't watch American Housewife, but I do watch Zombies a ton.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen her on Zombies, and I'm super excited for the new Zombies 2 that's going to come out. So I'm kind of a little geeking out right now because it's like my favorite DCOM ever.
So if you could guest star on any show, what would it be?
I would go into the past and say Jessie.
Okay.
That's a good answer.
Because, like I said, it is my favorite episode. I mean, my favorite show.
Mm-hmm.
But Cameron Boyce is on it. Sky Jackson. Like, all those awesome people are on it. And it's like, it's pretty amazing. And it's just a really funny show. So it'd be kind of fun to see how they do that show.
Well, what about Bunked? Isn't that a big portion of the cast? It's Cameron's not there.
It's a huge portion of the cast. I know Sky Jackson is on it, and a lot of the cast. I know Cameron Boyce wasn't on it, but he was on one episode, and he did great. But that is a big portion of the show, which I loved Bunked too.
Yeah.
Have you met the cast of Jessie? You know, running into them here and there?
No, I haven't seen them yet. Maybe it's also because it's an older show.
Sure.
So maybe they're like not as many things. But I think I'll see Cameron Boyce because he's still pretty active. So, and a lot of the other people on Bunked. So I'm still waiting to see them, but I've seen like everybody else. Like I've seen pretty much the entire cast of Bizarre Vark and all those shows.
It's got to be very cool for you to be in an industry where you can meet those people that you watch on television on a regular basis, or just even running into them on the lot. That has to be very cool.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Now, Paxton, you're much braver than Elizabeth here because, like me, you love watching scary movies. But lately, you've been exploring films from the horror genre that I haven't even watched stuff from, which is like the 1950s black and white scary movies. So
yeah, that's like my favorite kind of horror movies, which they're actually not that scary. They're like so cheesy.
Yeah.
Like Plane Night from Outer Space. You could tell it's a model set with the UFO with the string above it. Like I like that. They make you feel for the monster. Like it's not just a scary monster running after the pretty girl. It's like they make you feel for the monster. Like Frankenstein, you feel down when he's down, and like Dracula and all those people.
See, Elizabeth, you're watching the wrong decades of horror films.
It's still not going to happen.
Have you found any hidden gems that I should check out?
White Zombie is a very good one.
Okay.
And Bela Lugosi's in that one Dracula. Yeah, Dracula, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like I said, Plane Night from Outer Space was actually voted the worst movie ever made.
Wow, now I have to see it.
Which it is bad, like bad in general, but I like it because it's so cheesy. It's like so cheesy. You can tell there's model sets everywhere you look on it. Elvira's in it too, so that's good.
Oh, nice.
Oh wait, who? Vampire. My bad.
Okay, Vampire.
Wrong one.
Okay, so are you watching these movies with Mom? Or is Mom previewing these movies before you see them?
Kind of, yeah, and 50-50, but most of the time they're not scary at all. Like, A Night of the Living Dead, zombies aren't fast. They're supposed to be slow, but for some reason they're running, and it's kind of funny. Like, all the movies, they were scary back when they were made, when they, like, first came out, but now they're literally, like, they're kind of like a comedy movie now. They're so funny. And
none of these things give you nightmares. None of these horror films give you nightmares. Not even the old ones, which I feel like are funny. But are you watching new ones that are scary?
No, I'm not watching the super crazy, scary new ones. Some of them even like really big, like old movies. Those kind of scary movies. I'm not watching those. I'm watching the cheesy ones.
Okay,
like
all right.
Gremlins too. I'm a big fan of like the 80s kind of like cheesy movies, like Gremlins, that, and Indiana Jones, and all those kind of movies too.
Okay.
Good for you for watching Gremlins.
Yeah, I've never seen it. Nick has a gremlin in his bedroom.
No, it's right up there. I have
it's moved.
1-to-1 scale replica of Gizmo.
Oh yeah.
That somebody handmade for me, and it's amazing.
I see now it has moved from upstairs down to our studio.
Yeah.
Oh, that's charming. Why would you point that out to me?
Yes, it has moved by itself, hasn't it?
Exactly. And I
don't put those things in my head, Paxton.
And I don't feed him after midnight.
But I do love Gremlins. That is very cool. That would actually be kind of a fun thing to have in my room. Just have a cute little gizmo standing by me.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's
and
creepy.
I heard they're making a third Gremlin.
I heard that. I'm very excited about it. Mm-hmm. That's true.
I'm so excited. Mom, is it still directed by Steven Spielberg? I don't know, but I really hope it is.
I hope so too.
That would be so cool.
Now, you mentioned The Nightmare Before Christmas before. You mentioned meeting Tim Burton. So getting to talk about him for just a little bit, what is it about those Tim Burton films that get you excited to see one?
He kind of takes a page from the old movies, like the old black and white films. He makes you love for the monster, not just like the new ones where it's just a scary monster. He's just a monster. Like Edward Scissorhands, when he's like super sad and down, you really feel for him. And all his like Nightmare Before Christmas, you really feel for Jack. And Frankenweenie and all those movies, he makes you love for the monster.
So tell us a little bit about Dumbo. You got to see it ahead of time. It's not out yet, but it will be, well, by the time this podcast airs. But tell us about what you thought about Dumbo.
I thought it was very cute. So I haven't seen the original Dumbo because I heard it was very sad, and would make you cry like the entire movie. And so I went into Dumbo with a ton of tissues,
Mm-hmm.
and Actually, I didn't cry at all. There were so many big actors in that. Like, Danny DeVito was hilarious. And Michael Keaton was great. And all those really big actors that I love are in it. And Ava Green, which I love, Mrs. Peregrine, did very well in that movie. So, like, all of my favorite, like, Tim Burton actors are in that movie. And the CGI was just amazing for Dumbo and his mom, Mrs. Jumbo, and all of those crazy elephants. They looked so real.
I can't wait.
Amazing real. And it'll make you cry, but it's not like the entire movie was sad. Like, more like comedy.
Well, that's my question, because the main thing in the cartoon Dumbo that makes you cry is that Mrs. Jumbo gets taken away from Dumbo. Does that happen in this movie?
It does happen, but they do get her back, and then at the very end, oh, wait, no, my bad. Don't want to give it away. No spoilers.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure if that's the reason I was crying or not something else. I'm crying because Mrs. Jumbo gets taken away like she does in the real movie, in the original. Okay, that's it. You don't give it away because it's out in theaters. By the time this airs, it will be out in theaters now.
But we don't want to ruin it for anybody.
No, we don't. We don't.
Okay.
Do you have any other classic movies on your to-do list? Are there things that you're wanting to see from many, many years ago?
We did have Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, but we started watching that and we got lost like 5 minutes into it. It was so bad. I know that like all these old movies are cheesy and bad, but it was so bad for some reason. Like, I don't even know what this was. Like, we stopped at the point where I think he's like, this guy's going to a lawyer and then he starts like singing beautiful songs, and like you're in the middle of like a really scary horror movie and you're singing pretty songs. Like, it got confusing. We just stopped there. But I do want to watch Attack of the Killer Clowns.
Oh man.
No, that's scary. No, no clowns. That's wrong. That's just wrong on every level. No clowns.
That is pretty cheesy, but I want to see that one.
Oh.
I would regret if I didn't ask you, how did you even get an interest in cheesy movies from the 50s and stuff? Like, how does a 9-year-old find out that they made movies in the 50s?
I think since I'm in the movie business, I think I've just, like, some of my fellow friends in the business have, like, maybe said and showed me, like, really old, like, 30s movies. And then Mom told me probably she started watching, maybe I, like, woke up in the middle of the night to go tell Mom something, and she might have been, I don't know, she might have been, like, watching a B film, and then I'm like, what's this? And then we might have just started watching it from there.
Okay.
I'm not totally sure, because I started watching them pretty darn young.
Yeah, because my 7-year-olds probably have no concept that any movies were made before they were even born, so they haven't figured that out.
So
I just started watching the Marvel saga.
Oh.
So
cool.
Yeah, we're a couple movies into the Marvel thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Iron Man has been my favorite so far. The Iron Mans are hilarious with Robert Downey Jr. He did so well.
Our fans love hearing about what our famous guests are watching or streaming. So if we came to your house, what would be on your DVR, or what are you streaming?
I'm streaming right now on Amazon Prime, Just Add Magic, which is like the best kid show of all time. And my mom and dad even get into it. Like, there's so much going on. It's pretty complex, but it's simple. So it's a very interesting show. Actually, the girl who plays Charlotte, Olivia Sanabia, she is the main character in the show, and she does so well. That's like the top of my list that I'm streaming right now, and I want everybody to go look at that. But quick tip, always watch in order, because if you miss one episode, you're lost for the rest of the season.
Okay, got to watch Just Add Magic in order. Got it.
Yep. And there is a spin-off coming out.
Well, before we let you go, we want to talk about this amazing Hot Wheels collection you have. You talked about it at the beginning of the show. You have something like 1,000 cars, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been collecting since, I think, maybe 4. Right now I have 1,144 cars.
Wow. And you probably have them ranked by favorites as well, I would assume.
Yep, I play with like every single car I own. I have a section that is all my classics, which I still play with those, but like I have these little plastic boxes that I put my super rare cars in, and that keeps them very nice and like super pristine and no dust, and it's so nice. But I have my section of like the cars that are like the best in my whole collection at racing. So I have those cars up at like my very top shelf of my favorite shelf, and it's like I have so many like amazing sections that I have.
Very cool.
So have you always loved cars, or how do you think this obsession got started?
I've always loved cars, but my dad used to well, he still does a little, but he knows how to work on cars, and he was a huge car guy too. And we actually have a hot rod sitting in the garage right now that we're trying to build, but it's kind of hard with with me right now because we have so much going on. But he's had a hot rod in there since I was born, and mom and dad both worked on hot rods, and they all had like cool trucks and stuff. They sold them before I was born, and I'm like super disappointed in them, but because it's like they were amazing trucks and like cool low riders and like awesome cars, but then nope, just sold them right before I was born. But
Hey,
Paxton doesn't get to see them.
kids are expensive. We have to sell the expensive things to pay for the children.
Yeah, but I think we went to a car show together, like me, mom, and dad and stuff, and I've just loved them ever since. I don't know why I'm like a super fan of cars.
Yeah.
I know like everything there is to know. And hot rods too. Hot rods are awesome.
I'm sure
Hot
you and your
rod,
dad will be
hot
able to
rod.
build that hot rod. I think that'll happen.
Yep. I hope.
I know you can't drive yet. If you could, what is your dream car that you want to get behind the wheel of and drive?
I have three, but I'll put my main one up. A 1965 Mustang Shelby GT350 with a classic white paint job and then two blue stripes down the top.
He's thought about this.
Yeah, that was very specific.
I have another simple one that's a little more easy
Okay.
to understand. It's a 1969 Corvette Stingray, very
Nice.
specific on the year, and a 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona with the biggest swing you can get, preferably with a Hemi in it.
See, he does know everything about cars.
Yes.
Very cool. That's awesome. Paxton, lastly, what is a question that you've never been asked, but you wish someone would so you could answer it? Do you have one?
You know, I actually like that question. It's
Well,
kind
thanks.
of a fun question. I don't know. Actually, I feel like I've been asked everything. I've been asked so many questions. I don't know.
That's okay.
That is like the only question I don't know.
Okay. So,
It's an opinion question, and I can't do it.
okay, here's an easier one. Where can we find you on social media?
Paxton Booth on Instagram.
Okay.
Awesome. Now, Paxton, before we let you go, if you have about 2 minutes, because that's how long this takes, we've got a list of, I think it's 26 favorite things where I will just list a category and you tell me the first thing that pops into your head. You want to play?
Sure.
All right.
I'll do it.
All right, let's do it. So here we go. So just the first thing that comes to your mind, this is your your favorite things of these categories. We'll start with movie,
Nightmare Before Christmas.
book,
Geronimo Stilton series.
favorite color,
Ooh, hot pink.
favorite actor,
Bill Murray.
superhero,
Iron Man.
fruit,
Strawberry.
your favorite vegetable.
Uh,
He's like, none of them.
Broccoli.
Broccoli, okay. What's your favorite ice cream?
Ooh, Rocket Pop Sorbet.
TV show.
Just add magic.
Your favorite candy.
Ooh, Turbo Starbucks.
Restaurant.
Habit Burger.
Music artist.
Panic at the Disco.
Board game.
Monopoly.
Sport.
Football. Oh, BMX.
School subject.
Beating.
This will be easy. Favorite car?
Ooh, a 1965 Mustang GT 350
With the white
with
stripes?
the classic white paint job and the 2 blue stripes down the top.
What's your favorite city?
Ventura.
What's your favorite drink?
Ice water.
Number. What's your favorite number?
24.
Cereal.
Crave.
Your favorite cartoon?
Scooby-Doo.
Okay. And season of the year?
Summer.
Okay, 2 more. Your favorite cookie?
Ooh, chocolate chip.
And your favorite chips?
Pringles. Pringles sour cream.
All right. Very good, Paxton. We had another guest say Monopoly was their favorite, and I had to ask them if they'd played the card game Monopoly Deal yet.
No, I haven't played that one yet. I have a Nightmare Before Christmas Monopoly waiting in my closet for me to play.
Nice.
All right. Well, the card game's very fun. It goes very fast. It's like a 15-minute play, and I recommend it highly. It's very addictive. If you lose, you want to play again because you're like, I was so close to winning. Promise.
I'll have to try that game.
Do you have anything else coming up that you want to promote?
Season 2.
Season 2 of Coop and Cami Ask the World. That's amazing news.
Yes, we just got renewed. It was pretty exciting when we got the call, and I was like screaming in my house. It was awesome.
Well, congratulations. And thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate your time. Our thanks to Paxton Booth for being on the show this week.
Oh, seriously, I know I say this a lot, but what a cutie pie.
Yeah, you even told his mom.
I did, because he is so articulate for a 9-year-old. You know, I have a 9-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
She does not speak like this.
And he's so passionate about very cool things.
He was very smart and very able to communicate in a very articulate way. He had very intelligent answers. It wasn't, again, I live with a 9-year-old and she does not talk like that. I get, yeah, fine. You know?
Right. Well, you can see Coop and Cami Ask the World on the Disney Channel. They just got renewed for season 2, so there is going to be a lot more excitement and episodes surrounding this young man. He's got a very bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, we watch it at our house. It's a cute show.
Very cool.
Yeah.
You can follow us on social media at Fancounters Live. Join our private Facebook group for discussion on this episode and all the others. That's at Sharpie Nation on Facebook. You do have to be approved to join, but we approve everybody, so don't worry.
Yeah.
And if you want to get in touch with us, if you've got a guest in your head, you're like, oh, you guys need to interview, fill in the blank, we will try and get them on the show. And if we do, you can come on the show, too, to ask them some questions, we promise. So where can they send that email?
Sure. You can send it to hello@fancounters.com.
That is going to do it for us. We've got more fun for you next week. So be here. Every Friday morning, we release a new episode. We haven't missed a new episode in like 84 weeks or something like that.
Yeah,
so,
we're doing good.
You can count on us to be there every Friday on your iPod.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
This was a podcast from the PodFix Network. You can check out more shows like it at podfixnetwork.com.